If you've been on any of the social media apps this last week, you may have come across this woman talking about her marriage.
I don't know if I'm going to actually post this because this is super vulnerable for me and I'm a pretty open person. But earlier this year, I told my husband I wanted a divorce.
So sound off in the comments if you have already seen this video. If not, this woman is going to talk about how she wanted to divorce her husband. And she's going to talk a little bit about her marriage. And I'm going to give my unfiltered thoughts on it. If you're worried about the world we're leaving to our children, well then, it looks like your algorithm brought you to the right place. Welcome. I'm the mom behind the mask.
And this would probably shock a lot of my friends and my family because I hadn't told anybody, okay? I walked myself through the logistics of where would I live, how would we split the time with the kids, who gets a dog, where all of those things, okay? Had a full breakdown. I feel like I have been searching for something in my relationship that we don't have for the whole time we've been married, which has been 10 years. There is not a single thing about my husband in and of himself that I do not love. Let me be very clear about that. He is the most self-disciplined, loyal, hardworking, good person that you could meet on this planet. And that is probably the reason why I have not left, okay? Our relationship and what my expectations are for my marriage and what they always happen are not met, right? Which I don't know if anybody's are. The reason that pushed me to even bring up divorce and talk about it was the fact that I feel like I can't be myself with my husband. And it's really confusing because I'm 32 years old. I am a mom of 3. And I still don't know who I am. So for me to be like, oh, I can't be myself or you don't love me for who I am isn't really fair because I don't know who I am. I'm figuring that out every day.
A lot of reactions you'll see to this video stop right here. But I'm not going to do that. I don't think it's fair. And I believe context is very important. What she says from here on out kind of makes me ease up my opinions on her, but up until this point, she sounds very selfish. She's coming across as very selfish because she's talking about this wonderful man that she has, that he's done nothing wrong. He's done nothing that she can pinpoint that's wrong, but she's just not feeling it. There's something she's just not getting it. So at one point, she wanted to throw it all away. Okay, and a lot of people stop here and say, oh, this woman's throwing away her marriage to this amazing man, and she doesn't even really know what she wants. And I'm going to let her keep talking, but I want to point out, I'm covering this video because I talk about our society as a whole and how things that I see are impacting our society, which ultimately impact our children. And this is a common theme I'm seeing in our culture, which is that if you look at her comments, there are a lot of women who agree with her, who say, yes, do what makes you happy, do what you need to do. And I think that there are two sides to this. There's these women who are saying that, who say, do whatever makes you happy, and you deserve to be happy, you deserve better, you deserve to be fulfilled, you deserve to be loved how you want to be loved. And then there's the other side, which is a lot of the men who are saying, this man has done nothing wrong, yet he still can't get it right. He still can't be enough for you, even though you can't even figure out what he's done wrong. Right? And I think that while, yes, it's important to be fulfilled and happy in your life and in your marriage and everything, that's not the end all be all. I mean, truthfully, it's not. And I come from a Christian perspective, if you don't already know that about me. Truthfully, life is technically not about being happy. And while I think that, we should strive to find joy in our life, if we're looking for it in the wrong places, we can really go awry, okay? And this woman and many other women in the world are willing to just throw away their marriages because there's just something missing. There's just something not there, right? But we'll talk more about that. Let's go ahead and see what she has to say.
But the reason why I wanted to share this on here in the first place is we are coming up on our 10-year anniversary. We're going to Mexico, to Cabo, for our 10-year anniversary trip. And we're rewriting our vows. We never wrote vows in the first place. We didn't have vows when we got married. And I'm struggling to write my vows, like to write a vow. And I think that's because I still feel very unsure in our relationship. The one thing that we finally talked about this past week together, because it's just been something that since we kind of talked about it and I brought it up and we committed to change and we committed to working on our relationship, I started my own business. He quit his job. Roles have changed. Life has been crazy. And we just haven't come back to talking about this subject.
As a wife and a mother of 3 small children myself, I can relate, okay? I get it. It's easy to get to a place where you think, wait, who am I? What do I like? What do I want to do? Who am I anymore? And you feel like you've kind of lost yourself, right? A lot of women get to that point. A lot of women with small children get to that point, and I understand that. But I think the mistake that a lot of women make is that when they get to that point, they start to resent being a wife, and they start to resent being a mom, and they start chasing things outside of that, outside of their home. And it's great to have things for yourself. It's great to have hobbies. It's great to make money. It's great. All that is great. I'm not saying it's not. But I'm saying if it's getting you to a point where you're starting to, for whatever reason that you can't even determine, that you're questioning your marriage, then there's probably something else missing that you need to figure out. And what I'm seeing from the outside looking in, just from the information she's given us, is that it sounds like she told her husband she wants a divorce. And he's probably like, oh, shit. He quit his job and he let you pursue a career, let you be an entrepreneur and start a business, right? So now he's quit his job and now you have spun it in your content, which I'll show you in a minute. Now you've spun it in your content that you're the breadwinner. But what I see is that you've told your husband you're not fulfilled, you're not satisfied, something's missing, and you can't really tell what it is. So he's quit his job and allowed you to pursue something outside of being a wife and outside of being a mother, hoping to save his marriage. That's just what I'm seeing. I could be wrong. Let me just throw that in there. I could be wrong. But that's my outside looking in perspective.
And I brought it up again because I'm like, I'm going to be honest with you, like writing these vows is hard. I don't feel like we're any closer. I don't feel like anything has really changed since I brought this up 6 months ago, 9 months ago, whatever.
What needs to change though? That's my point, is how is he supposed to know what needs to change if you don't even know what needs to change?
And I want to work on our relationship. Like at the end of the day, of course, I could get a divorce and try to go find the love that I'm craving with somebody else. But that's going to come with its own hardships, its own complications, and ones that I'm not willing to take on, right? I love Ryan. He is the best father, okay? I just need to learn how to explain what I need from him in our relationship, and he needs to be able to give that, and I need to be doing the same for him so that we can both, like, in 10 years from now, in the next 10 years, look back and say, like, we put in the work and we finally have the marriage and the relationship that we have always wanted, and that is what I want.
And see, this is where she wins me back just a little bit, because it's like, yeah, this is the attitude you need to have. If you're not totally fulfilled and satisfied in your marriage, as long as there's nothing crazy going on, I mean, you need to try and find a solution. And I think she's trying to do that. Like she says, she wants to look back in 10 years and still be married to this man and look back and say, look what we got through. And I think that's a great attitude to have. I just think that first half of the video is going to rub people the wrong way. If they don't take the time to watch the rest of it, then they're not going to see this part. And then even if they do, I think a lot of us can read between the lines of what's going on behind closed doors, which is she's basically told her husband she wants a divorce because she's not fully satisfied. He likely is not completely sure of what she needs to be satisfied. All he knows is that she's saying, I'm not satisfied. I've lost myself. I don't know what I like. I want something for myself. So he quits his job. She starts a business. She's become the breadwinner, which she's clearly very proud of. Yet, still she's not satisfied. okay? And as many women that are in the comments supporting her and saying, you know, you deserve to be happy, you deserve love, you deserve to be loved the way you want, go girl, find what you need, and things like that, there are going to be just as many men supporting the husband and saying, look what he's done. He has supported you up to the point to where you're financially stable enough that he could quit his job and let you pursue this business, this passion that you have. And yet you're still not satisfied. And they could very well go to him and say, you deserve better. You deserve more. You deserve a woman who's going to be satisfied with you, and that you don't have to just shoot blindly in the dark at trying to figure out what it is that your wife needs to be content.
I posted a video yesterday talking about how I asked my husband for a divorce 6 months ago. We are still together now. It has over 900,000 views and 10,000 comments. And basically the root of what I was trying to do in that video was explain that we came from that place 6 months ago where I wanted a divorce. We have been working through it, but I still feel like a lot more needs to happen. And I was asking for advice on like what people have done who have been in similar situations, and like asking for advice on how we can get to a better place. At first, when it first started getting a lot of views, the comments were so good, like so good. I have a notes app in my phone right now of like all of the advice people were giving. Everyone saying like, oh my gosh, this was us 10 years ago and now we're in such a better place. Like we finally found that love. Basically what I was trying to convey is that my husband is perfect. Like he is perfect. Okay. But our relationship is not perfect. Okay. And so how do we get like our relationship to be that like passionate, lovey, so in love, obsessed with each other?
I see. She wants passion. She's bored, guys. That's what it is. She is bored.
Which a lot of the advice too is just saying we're in a hard stage of life, which we are. We have 3 kids. We just are navigating like a shift of roles because he quit his job and my business is like the business we're working on. So it's a little confusing, right? But like the overall thing I wanted to say here is, 1, like we are not getting a divorce. So if you didn't watch the video all the way through, that's on you. But 2, yes, my husband is perfect in a lot of ways, and perfect is not the right answer, like the right thing to say, but he is such a good person. And of course I'm not going to get on here and air his dirty laundry, or mine for that matter, but like I was more trying to say it's not him that's lacking, it's like our connection and our relationship and what we can do to get that to a better place. Anyways, comments are so good, most of them. There are also some wacky comments, but I've also gotten a lot of messages, and I just wanted to say thank you for everyone who's like given advice, taking the time to write out comments or message me and say they are willing to talk to me. I've also had so many people that I know personally, which that was another kind of thing that I didn't expect to happen, because TikTok is kind of my safe space where like I don't expect people to watch my videos that know me.
You didn't expect people who know you to watch the videos that you post on your social media. Got it.
I guess. So maybe that video was a little bit shocking to people who know us, because on paper or like in like, I don't know, we probably look like we don't have our own issues, but everybody does. So anyways, there have been a lot of people who have reached out that I know that have thanked me for sharing and said that they're in similar situations or offered advice. So I'm super grateful for that. And basically kind of what we've decided, since this has kind of gone viral, is like we're reading through the comments together, and like if something resonates with us, we're like, yeah, that's probably something we need to work on. And there's other times that we read through and we're like, absolutely not, that's not true about us. And now the video has over 1 million views of me talking about my marriage, which is just lovely.
A lot of people don't agree with the fact that she even posted this video in the first place, putting all her business of her marriage out there. And I have to agree, honestly, even if her husband knows at this point that she's posted this video, that she's posting about it now, and he says he's okay with it, I don't know. She initially posted, from what I can tell, without his knowledge. I don't think she expected it to really go anywhere, but it blew up. And she says that this has actually been beneficial for their marriage because it's really forced them to take a look at things and to work on things. And well, I think that's great. I think that obviously not every man, but I think most men would probably have an issue with their wives airing out all their issues like this to millions of people. I can't imagine really anyone just being okay with millions of people knowing that you're on the verge of getting divorced and basically everything that you do is in efforts to save your marriage. And this is a complete assumption, but I would assume that pretty much anything she does at this point goes. Because if he really wants to save his marriage, which it seems like he probably does, but if he really wants to save it, and she's the one who's kind of saying like, oh, I'm not satisfied, I'm not content, I'm not fulfilled, I'm not this, I'm not that, but she can't even put her finger on what it is about the relationship that's not right. I would feel like, if that were my partner, I think I would feel like, okay, well, I just kind of have to go along with whatever they want to do in the hopes that they find something that fulfills them, or they're going to leave me.
Let's just say the comments have gotten more wild and wild as the time has gone on. There are a couple things that I want to address. There's a lot of comments saying that, like, why would you talk about this on the internet? Like, go to a therapist, go to a counselor. Like, duh. We're planning on doing that. But also, why, again, I think I've said this previously, why would I not come to a place that has millions and millions of people on here with advice and recommendations?
Because unless you are just completely new and oblivious to the internet, you know there are going to be people who are going to come for you, or come for your husband, or come for your marriage. You knew that there would be people in your comments bashing your husband, no matter what good you say about him. Just you saying that you're not satisfied, or you're not getting the love that you need, or you're not getting this or that, you knew people were going to come for your husband. And your number one priority as a wife is to protect your marriage.
Half of the comments now don't even watch the video. They literally are like, don't do it, don't get divorced. I'm like, I'm not. I literally said I'm not. If you watched it longer than 10 seconds. So that's one thing, is there is a point and a very good side of social media, which is community and helping each other and giving advice. And I have received loads of advice. And again, I will post that soon. I'm making a notes in my notes app. Okay. Second is that, like, my husband doesn't know that I'm posting online, I guess. People are saying that, like, of course he knows. Okay. Of course he knows. And third, the last thing I'll talk about tonight. Neither of us are perfect in the relationship, okay? I for sure have my faults, and so does he. And again, I don't feel like I needed to come on here and, like, explain, like, I don't know anyone the full story or, like, every single detail about our marriage, okay? I was literally just saying, here's my situation, here's as much as I want to tell you, and what advice do you have for me? And the girlies have come through, mostly the girls, with good advice and support and love, and I'm super grateful for that. But that was a lot of views in 24 hours on that video, and the last video that I expected to get that many views, so cheers to social media.
I've done a little background research into her content, and she says she is a woman of faith. So she asks for advice. So as a woman of faith myself, here's my advice to her from that perspective. She needs to get offline. She needs to get in her word. She needs to find a mentor, someone older, a woman older, who is either older physically or older spiritually, if you know what I mean, and who has lived her situation, right? She needs to get offline and stop posting about her marriage, because this is going to quickly spiral into, now I'm just doing it for views. Now she's going to see this as a potential source of dopamine, really, and gravitate towards posting here daily, and which I think she already was, but now it's going to gear towards her marriage. That's, what I fear that will result in. Basically, the priority needs to shift. And while, yes, we all deserve happiness and joy and fulfillment in our lives, sometimes there are seasons of our life where that's just not the focus. I truly believe her focus should be her small children and her marriage, and I think she's trying to find this purpose and joy in outside sources, and she needs to come back to the source of joy, all right? I feel for her, though. I feel for her husband, and I feel for her kids, and I hope that she does not throw her marriage away for this. Ultimately, it's a temporary feeling, but I can see how it feels permanent when you don't have your priorities in the right place. When you're at the point where you're resenting your life or thinking there could be better out there. I know, we always hear the grass is greener or the grass isn't greener. It's truly not. The grass is greener where we water it. And I know that's so cliche, but it's so true. I hope that this journey for her and her husband of working on their marriage is successful, and I hope they do find joy and passion and excitement within each other. Let me know what you think in the comments. If you're still here, I thank you for watching, and subscribe if you like.